Hello, class. Hi, I am Mollye Miller Shehadeh, and I am going to be showing you the 5 fundamentals of photography. So, I'm a photographer, and this is my profession. This is what I do for a living. So, what I want to show you is kind of the principles that I use when I am taking pictures of the environment, families, street photography, my dog, anything that I'm doing. These are kind of ingrained, so I know these. So let's start with subject matter. Got a beautiful sunny day, and that makes for an interesting light source. So this is my neighborhood, and what I want to do first is concentrate on subject matter. So again, what that means is, sure, subject matter is anything. I could photograph this car, I could photograph these flowers, I could photograph this tree up ahead, but what I want to concentrate on is what's truly intriguing to me. So, now I've noticed this car before, and it's an interesting one, because it's an old one, and it's got some cool features. So, oh, it's a Camino, and it's a historic car. So maybe what I want to do is find an interesting way to photograph this car. So I'll do that. So maybe just shoot it head on like this. Then maybe I come to the side and find something a smaller detail that truly intrigues me. So maybe it's just this door handle, which we don't have door handles like that really anymore. So I'm just gonna kind of come in close and set up something that interests me, the way it interests me in my opinion, in my eye, not anyone else's. Okay, and we're back and looking at the second principle. Now I'll also point out that usually I use this big digital camera that's just more sophisticated than a small digital camera or your phone, but it doesn't really matter at all what you photograph with. This is just a more professional camera, meaning that it takes higher grade photos in the end, so that when you print them, they look really, really nice. Or if you're sharing them, the resolution is really, really clear. So, okay, moving on to the second principle. The second principle that we're going to talk about is composition. Now this one's really cool because essentially the composition is arranging the visual ingredients of a picture to make it interesting to the eye. So what you're kind of doing is creating a way for a person to see through the photo, like to kind of lead them from one point to another. It'd probably be better if I just showed you what composition really is when you're out in the field. So let's go do that. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the second principle, which is composition. So, of course, you want to use all of these principles all together when you take any photo, but it'll just become part of what you do and part of how you see. But for right now, we're going to concentrate on composition, just composition. So let's see what we can find. Okay, so Ooh, I'm noticing some really cool flowers and flamingos. It looks really neat. Can we take a picture of this? Let's see. How can we compose this so that it's interesting to the eye and kind of a little bit orderly? We're putting in all the ingredients of the scene. So we have the flowers, the flamingos, the railing, the steps. We're putting it all into a composition that we feel is aesthetic. And all that means is it's pretty. It looks good to the eye. So let's see what we can do if we just arrange the elements so that they fit into the frame in a way that looks good. Does this look good? Does that look better? Does this look better? So just play around to find out the way in which you want to organize the ingredients. So let's try a few. All right, so the third principle is perspective. Perspective is a neat one also because that's the way that you are positioning yourself as the photographer in order to get a intriguing view of the subject that you've chosen. So it's the way that you want to tell the story of that subject or whatever it is that you're photographing. So maybe it's getting really, really low, so you're in the grass and you're looking at the, well, if you're somewhere really interesting, maybe you're shooting like an elephant or something. But if you're here in Baltimore and you're out on the street, maybe not on the street, you're out on a walk and you see something that interests you, you get into a position where you're looking at it from a different perspective. So maybe you get down low or you move to the side or you come and look down on the subject matter. So let's go out and see what we can find and experiment with perspective. Okay, great. So now we've taken care of composition and we're moving on to perspective. So like I said, perspective is the way that you yourself, the photographer, get in a position that makes a subject pop, that really makes your subject look intriguing in a way that maybe it wouldn't otherwise. So for instance, let's take one of these really pretty flowering trees that we see when we walk around right now. So, pick your tree. This one's cool. But also, there's this really big one. So let's go over here and see what we can do. See the tree. You know, I'm about 5'4". This is my perspective on the world. But if I want to really see something differently, I have to position myself in a way that's unique. So what if I looked at the tree like this? Or what if I didn't even look at the tree at all and I just looked at the petals that fall from it? Or maybe I walk onto this person's property, but only a little bit. And I look up at the tree this way, or maybe down at the trunk to see what's happening there. So I feel okay about those options, but I'm really intrigued by making this tree look really, really, really big. So here's the tree. This is how we normally see it. Well, how I normally see it as a 5'4" person. But I want to make this tree look really, really huge. So I'm going to use perspective to change the way I see it, and I want others to see it. So there's the tree. I'm going to get down really, really low on the ground, in the grass. You can see I'm in the grass. I'm going to look up at the tree this way. Now that's not how we normally see this tree, so I'm going to take some pictures and see what happens. You can use other elements to make your subject matter kind of pop. So here I have the edge of this fence right here. So maybe to show that this is in proximity to the tree, I can use this fence. I like how some petals just got on my hand as I was photographing, because I was on the grass. So I would like that as a picture too. The second to last principle is mood. So this one's really cool too. I like all the different principles, if you haven't noticed. But mood is shooting with your heart. It's photographing with your emotions in mind, or using empathy. That's the way that you imagine that another feels when you're taking a picture. So we've all seen photos that immediately make us feel something. That's what I'm talking about. So let's go out and see if we can find some emotional connection with what we're photographing, and then see if we can emit that or show that and have other people who see the photo feel that feeling. This is a challenging one. So I've been walking around searching for mood, which is not something I normally do, because all pictures have a mood to them, or that's how I like to make them. But I'm looking for mood, and I found this. So I see just this part of a house and this kind of forest beneath it. So I'm going to carefully cross the street and see what I can do to create a mood. So, of course, we're going to use the other principles to create this. We have composition and perspective, and of course we've got our subject matter. So in this case, what I want to do is position myself in a way that I can kind of create or capture a mood. So now I'm really close to the house. Let's see what kind of pictures I can get. All right, I took some of those shots, and we'll see what kind of mood appears when we look at it later. Ooh, see, now that just caught my eye. You see this mailbox? Let's go in a little bit closer and see if we can get a mood shot from that too, because I'm just sensing a mood right away. So I'm gonna creep up this little hill. This is a church that I'm behind, and we've got some of this cool, tangled, dead plant life, which is awesome. And I'll get in here and take some shots of this mailbox, see what I can create. The final principle that I want to go over with you is the most essential ingredient to photography, and that is light. Light is what photography is. Photography literally means writing with light. So without light, we can't see anything. Oh boy. Next principle I'm going to talk about is light. Like I said before, photography is light. Photography is writing with light. That's telling a story with light. To do this, I'm going to take us on the street a bit, and we're going to find some intriguing light sources that might make some cool photos. So we've got direct sun right now, morning sun, totally different event right now if it were cloudy out, but this is what we have. This is our canvas, and we are going to use our paint, which is light, to create something awesome. So let's look for light and shadow. Okay, and of course I am choosing the street. I'm walking very carefully on the sidewalk, making sure to look both ways before I ever cross the street. I'm not going to cross the street though. I'm going to stay right over here and look for some light and shadow. Now right away I'm intrigued by this. I know, looks kind of bland, right? It's just the shadow from a railing. But I'm gonna see what kind of interesting pictures I can take with this light that is falling and creating this interesting diagonal shadow. Okay, I caught my first shadow. I like to think also when I'm taking pictures that I'm collecting these specimens, that I'm collecting these little things. I put them in my camera and they're mine. It's just sort of a satisfying feeling. Okay, so then let's see what else we can find. Okay, so I found something interesting. I'm gonna go take a look. See this fence? That interests me so much. Now it's falling apart, which is sad and maybe even a little bit dangerous for these people who live here. But as a documentary photographer, I just step right in and take the photos as things are. So look at this light, look at the light and shadow. You've got the shadow of this tree, you've got the shadows on the sidewalk, and then you've just got this light that is bathing this wood in an interesting way. So I'm gonna creep a little closer past this. I'm gonna come up on their stoop, but I won't go any more than that. So let's see what we can create. So, a thing that often happens with me, okay, pretty much always, is that once I'm in photography mode, I can't get out of it. And it's sort of great, except if I'm with someone else. It's really hard for me to listen to them and concentrate on them because I'm just seeing everything in pictures. So, usually, I should say, I'm taking pictures of people because I find people really interesting. But for today, just decided to go with non-people. But I will take a couple pictures of my dog just because she's so sweet and I want to show her to you. And we can also kind of put all the principles together in a picture of her. Zuri, my baby girl. So we'll do that next. So this is my puppy Zuri. Hey Zuri! She's not really a puppy, she's 3, but she looks like a puppy to me. Okay, Zizi. Now, there she is chasing a fly. It's kind of cool. Or a bee. Okay, so let's see if I can get her. Ooh, I like that position. But see, models move very erratically. They move all around. You never know what they're gonna do. So that makes it kind of interesting to work with humans and animals. Alrighty, so I'm gonna try and use all the elements that we've learned about to take a cool picture of Zuri. Alright, I've at least got her over here. And she's back over there. Now I've got another dog who's intriguing her. Let's see what she does. Because she's an animal and she's gonna run the show no matter what. Alright, she's gonna run the show, so I'm just kinda gonna work with her. Hey, Miss Zuri. Let's just see if I can get a cool picture of her doing her thing. We're gonna use subject matter, the dog, composition, make it clean and interesting looking. And by clean, I don't mean really pushing everything out of the way, just so you don't have too much distraction. Perspective, oh yeah, we can get her from all different angles in a really cool way. Mood, what mood does she make us feel? She's in a sniffy mood. And last but certainly not least, light. We've got lots of interesting light right now. Okay, here we go. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really, really appreciate your attention and I hope that you learned something. So as long as you have some kind of camera, or even if it's just that you look around and you start to notice things that really intrigue you. And one day when you get a camera, whether it's a phone or a small digital camera or one of these big guys, you will be able to bring it with you everywhere and take pictures of whatever you want and then play around with it when you look at the final product. So I really hope that you learned something today, and I just want to empower all of you to be interested in your world. There's so much out there. There's so much to explore, and just to keep that positive attitude about the beauty that surrounds us. And thank you again so much for watching this video. Bye!